dear participants and dear line leaders, everybody who has joined today in this third and final session of YLLI. Well, we have with us our VDG1, Lion Subhang Sen, and also we have with us who is the main fulcrum of this program, our very own Lion Manditanda, PMCC, and our GLT coordinator. And to start this final session, the third day of YLI, after which we all hope and I'm sure that you will all become YLI graduates. I request VDG1, Lion Subhankar, to initiate today's program. Lion Subhankar, VDG1, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Lion Himabrata. Good evening, Lions, and Namaste. I, on behalf of District 322G and on behalf of my district governor, as because he is busy in another program, so I take the opportunity to welcome you all in this Young Lions Leadership Institute third session and the last session. Our JLT coordinator, the person who is known for leadership, Lion Mandira Chanda, Lion Himabrata and Lion Vikas Tiwani, the faculties of today. Another faculty who took previous sessions, Lion Orindam Bhattacharya, our Cabinet Secretary, Lion Rishabh Lodha, and the participants. Young Lions Leadership Institute, it's the second ladder of leadership. First ladder is new members orientation, which yesterday some of the new members have enriched. And this is the second ladder where we choose the young people, those who joined our association last 2 years. And the modules are also selected for this type of people, which is not so fundamental, again not so complicated. And Lions International always try to emphasize in leadership, particularly in the young generation. So every year our district, by the inspiration of multiple, organize this type of Young Lions Leadership Institute under the leadership of able leadership of Lion Mandira Chanda. This year also it is being nicely organized because of virtual. Otherwise, in different place it is to be organized and it is troublesome. But this year, as because it is virtual, very nicely, very smoothly it is being organized. And today you will be hearing from the faculties and you will be achieving the certificate as told by GLT coordinator. Yes, certificate is required because it is the achievement and you are to be recognized. But during this last two sessions and today's session, whatever information you have gathered, if you can utilize this in your own profession, in your own family and in your own club, then only the real outcome of this type of Young Lions Leadership Institute will be achieved. I hope and firmly believe these odd 46, 45 people, those who are participating today and will be getting the certificates, and they will be assets of our district in future. With this word, I once again congratulate all the participants in advance for getting the certificates in due course of time from multiple through our GLT coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you, esteemed VDG1 Lion Subhankar for your words of encouragement. And of course, all of us would like to be successful in leading this district and in making our district great. Thank you very much.
Just
and
a minute.
With those words of our VDG1,
Himabrata, just a minute.
Request our first faculty for today's session,
Lion
Vikas Tiwani from Lions Club of Bangaigaon. He is a senior lion and have had deep trainings and is certified faculty for the YLLI. Today, the first topic, which is values of volunteering, which is very important in Lionism, a topic very close to the Lions all over the world. So I request Lion Vikas Swaniji to start his topic. Over to Lion Vikas Swaniji. Thank you.
I take permission from Vikas to inform that I will be leaving because one of my friend from Gujarat, he came to Dharmanagar. He is also a line member. He is a rider. So I have to receive him. So I'll be leaving this session. I cannot enjoy this session. I'll be leaving after 10 minutes. Yes, you continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Lion Himabrata. First, Vice District Governor, Lion Subhankar Sen. District, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Cabinet Treasurer Arindanda, Lion leaders and young Lion leaders. A very good evening to all of you.
मधुबन खुशबू देता है, सागर सावन देता है, जीना उसका जीना है, जो औरों को जीवन देता है, मधुबन.
Fellow Lions, you may be wondering why this song before my presentation. This song by K.J. Yesudas truly serves the meaning of life, especially the lines, जीना उसी का जीना है जो औरों को जीवन देता है. One may ask why we should do for others when we shall get nothing in return. With this presentation on values of volunteering, we shall try to get answer to this question. I request every participant to write in the comment box their answer in 2 when we get nothing in return. On the onset, who is a volunteer? The dictionary defines a volunteer as a person who works for an organization and is not paid for the same. Volunteers are caring people who join together in an organization to make their community better. Helen Keller, friends, you must have heard the name of Helen Keller. Helen Keller, on whose appeal at the Lions International Convention in 1925, our organization took ICE site services as one of its major activities, said, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much," thus emphasizing on volunteering by an organization rather than individual volunteering. Let us understand this with an example. Suppose a person who has got a lot of money at his disposal wants to organize an eye operation camp, but he has not got the team and the skill needed to organize the camp. Do you think he would be able to organize the camp successfully? Not at all. On the contrary, organizations like ours, which have ample hands and the skill in organizing such type of events, we would very successfully organize the camp. Thus, a voluntary organization is superior to individual volunteers. And this is one of the reasons we joined volunteer organizations like Lions International to serve the society. We can't do single-handedly anything. दोस्तों, यूं तो एक वॉलंटियर जो कि एक आम इंसान है पर खास कार्य करता है कि लार्ज हृदय जुनून वह प्रतिबद्धता की हम कोई कीमत नहीं लगा सकते, पर एक अनुमान के अनुसार एक वॉलंटियर के प्रति घंटे समय की कीमत $24 व 14 US सेंट्स आकी गई है। अमेरिकी संस्थान की जुलाई की रिपोर्ट के अनुसार इसकी कीमत $27 व 20 सेंट्स प्रति घंटे है, which is near to about ₹2 per day of 8 hours. This is not a small amount. This is an indicator how much money the government and the society saves due to unpaid work of the volunteer.
विकास जी, इसको आप फुल स्क्रीन कर लेते हैं ना, स्लाइड शो कर लेते तो फुल स्क्रीन हो जाता।
फुल स्क्रीन सर,
स्लाइड शो में दे दीजिए।
और देखिए एक बटन है स्लाइड शो करके ना, जो लाल वाला जो बार है ना पर उसमें एक स्लाइड शो करके भी बटन है।
साइन इन
नीचे देखिए, एक तो है वो एक डब्बा जैसा एकदम
नहीं, उस तरफ नहीं, आप राइट साइड आइए, आप लेफ्ट साइड चले गए, पूरा राइट साइड की तरफ।
राइट साइड
ये जो आपको बटन्स दिख रहे हैं ना, होम, इंसर्ट, डिजाइन,
हाँ,
उसी में एक बटन आएगा स्लाइड शो। हाँ, इसको क्लिक कीजिए, उसमें फ्रॉम बिगनिंग कर लीजिए, फ्रॉम बिगनिंग, या करंट कर लीजिए, करंट स्लाइड शो।
ठीक है
आप यस, करेक्ट।
By volunteering, we not only give to the society, we gain more than what we give, though not in monetary. By volunteering, you discover hidden talents in you. You gain professional experience and personal growth to reach endless possibilities. Volunteering gives you the opportunity to practice important skills in workplace, such as teamwork, communication, problem solving, project planning, task management, and organization. Let us understand this with an example of an eye operation camp again. While organizing an eye operation camp, it involves a lot of people working as a team, thus giving us real feel of a teamwork. We have to communicate with donors, with doctors, government agencies, and other stakeholders, and in the way sharpening our communication skills. We also, while organizing the camp, some small problems may arise and we have to solve the problems and make certain decisions. Thus, it gives us a hands-on experience of all management tools at the disposal. The knowledge of having done a good deed without having to get anything in return gives us a nice feeling. It enhances our self-respect, self-worth in our own eyes. And in the long term, this boosts our self-confidence. Thus, volunteering gives a sense of accomplishment, sense of pride and identity, boosts our self-confidence. Aristotle had rightly said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. While doing a social work, we work very closely with the community we are serving. We understand what are their requirements, whether they require drinking water or food, whether they require education facilities or health facilities, whether they require a shelter. In health facilities, whether they require diabetes checkup or eye checkup, general physician checkup or any other thing. In a nutshell, we very closely understand the community needs, and this understanding in the community needs helps us in solving their problem in a more better way. By volunteering, we also learn how the government works. Sorry, slide back. Rishabh ji, how is back to slide?
Yes, it's moving fine.
I want to go to the slide, earlier slide.
अर्लियर स्लाइड आप देखिए एरो कीज जो होता है ना ये लैपटॉप पे
Yeah.
एरो कीज उसमें आप बैक वाला की यूज कीजिए
Sure.
विल गो टू द अर्लियर स्लाइड
Yeah, thank you. Learn how the government works. While doing a social work, we closely work with various government departments, and we know what are the goals of the government, what are the government's plans, what are the reporting requirements of the government, and our knowledge of the community helps the government in framing the next goals. Thus, we learn how the government works. Volunteering also saves resources of government and the community. It is rightly said that happiest people are not those getting more, but those giving more. Volunteering volunteering also has a lot of health benefits. When we do a social work, we forget our day-to-day problems, our day-to-day stress, and are fully committed to the work we are doing. As a result, our stress gets reduced and we are more healthier. This reduction in stress elevates our mood, joy, and happiness. And this elevation in mood, joy, and happiness strengthen our immunity system, which is most desired in these pandemic times. As per some research, volunteering reduces the body's stress and also releases endorphins. 95% of the individuals feel good after volunteering. 96% of the volunteers said it makes them feel happier, whereas 68% of the people said volunteering makes them feel healthier. Not only this, there are other health benefits also. Volunteering reduces chances of depression, which in this decade is one of the major diseases after heart attack in India. It decreases chronic pain, stress, risk of disease, and social isolation. In this pandemic times, especially for the old and retired people, they have been confined to their homes. And in a way, due to social isolation, they have grown tendencies of depression, and which may be fatal. So when we are involved in social work, we meet a lot of people and we are involved with a lot of people. And the chances of depression is reduced to a great way. Volunteering also increases our physical fitness, because when we are involved in some activities, we move out of the home to places, and we have to move from one place to other, and more activities are involved. Thus, our physical fitness increases. It increases our mental functionality. It increases our sense of purpose. And all this leads to a healthy and long life. Lion friends, while serving the society, we don't see the caste, the creed, the race, the ethnicity, the gender, and the socio-economic status of the persons whom we are serving. We see them all through the same lens. Thus, we embrace diversity and we learn to accept and respect different races, ethnicity, gender, and socio-economic status. We become a team player. We had discussed earlier how we become a good team player, because any project, whether big or small, we have to involve a lot of our club members and a lot of people, and we learn how to work as a team. Because if everyone works in a separate direction, the project or the project we have taken won't be successful. We also develop a culture of empathy, feel deeper intimacy, and deeper caring for others. It is rightly said, when God blesses you financially, we should raise our standards of living, and we should not raise our standard of living, rather we should raise our standard of giving. It is our utmost responsibility for the upliftment of the society we live in. By society, I mean the people around us, the environment around us, and everything. Because this society has acted as a cradle of infancy. It has been our playground of our childhood, and it is our working place as a youth, and it will be the resting place in our old age. Suppose we are careless and destroy our environment. This will result in increase in pollution, and we will be having a nice resting place in our old place without oxygen and lot of carbon dioxide and other dangerous gases. It will be an oxygen chamber. It will be a poisonous chamber, and our life will be hell. Same, if the society around us is deprived, if they are unhappy, when we go out and see unhappy faces around us, we won't definitely be happy, because this is a human psychology. When we see a person who is unhappy, unhappiness develops in ourselves. So we should take all the steps so that all the people and the environment around us is developed. Other than this, we also develop certain skills while volunteering. These skills can be used in our career. What is nice, that if we add volunteering experience to our resume, which shows that we are driven, determined, and willing to work beyond just a paying job, it will enhance our resume, and chances are that we'll end up at a good job. During volunteering, we also make contacts with a lot of people. Say, for example, after joining Lions Clubs, I have come to know many people from Agartala and a part of undivided district 322D, members from Manipur, Upper Assam, and many other parts of northeastern states, which I would never have met and have never made contacts with. This contacts helps us in our career advancements also. So by volunteering, we develop our skills, and volunteering also helps in our career advancement. So why be a volunteer? It is not for money. It's not for fame. It's not for any personal gain. It's just for love of fellow man. It's just to send a helping hand. It's just to give a teeth of self. That's something you can't buy with wealth. It's not medals won with pride. It's that reward down your heart. It's that feeling that you have been a part of helping others far and near. That makes you a volunteer. This has been said by an unknown author. Now let's share views of some of the great personalities on volunteering. Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." Rightly said, when we are engaged in any service activities, we forget all our tensions and stress and are more happy within ourselves. Mother Teresa said, "Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is most terrible poverty." Muhammad Ali said, "As you know, if we live in a rented place and for our staying in the place." So Muhammad Ali said, "Service to others is the rent we pay for the room here on earth. We take the oxygen, we take everything from this environment. So it is our moral responsibility to pay back to this environment. Not much, maybe after death, our mortal remains will be either buried on this land, or it shall be, our assets shall be immersed in the river or in this land. So it is our moral duty to look after the land, which gives us the grain, which gives us the water, the oxygen we breathe, and everything. Thus, we may consider it as a rent we pay for the room we have got on the earth. Before ending, I would like to share from the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma, where he said that when we were born, the world rejoiced, but we cried. We should live a life in such a grand way, giving to others, making others happy, that when we die, the world cries and we rejoice. Now, I am going back to my first slide and coming to the answers you have given to why we should do for others. Well, we shall not get anything in return. Line Tanushree Das, satisfaction and peace of mind. Line Ramesh Sekia, self-satisfaction. Line Dibujyoti Paul, maintain balance sheet of life. All the members. Line Vishwajit Ghosh, good evening to everyone. Line Vishwajit Ghosh. So these are some of the answers that have come. Now I request some of the participants to share why we should do for the society when we are not getting anything in return. As we have joined a service organization like Lions International with the motto, we serve. So our first motto is we serve. And I would request our young leaders to share few words on why we should serve and why we have joined this organization to serve. I request Hemabrata Chakravarti, please unmute some of the speakers who want to say something on this. Anyone may raise their hands so that Hemabrata Da can unmute you.
You can unmute yourself if you want to give an answer. Unmute yourself, line Runjyoti Hazarika.
Good evening, respected Lions. Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, you are.
Hello?
Yes, you are
audible.
Go ahead.
Yes. Sir, yeah, it's a moral duty towards the society. And as you said, if God has given us that much to us, if we can give to others, then we should go ahead definitely. And together with the intention that there should be moral thought of serving the society. That is the basic thing. And at the same time, also the internal satisfaction, as I already talked, which really gives internal satisfaction along with means like it's like blessings from ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Very rightly said. Internal satisfaction is the most important thing for us to be happy, and it is our moral duty to the society. Next, anyone?
Line Palash Bhomik. Yes, please. Line Palash Bhomik. Yes, please unmute yourself and.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes,
you are.
sir.
Yes, you are.
Good evening, all the respected Lions. Actually, for me, not only for the Lions, but those who have taken birth on the earth, everyone's motto should be to serve the nation, not for the benefit of others only. As per my opinion, I should do it for my benefit because it gives me immense pleasure, and I think I won't get any satisfaction from anywhere else if I serve others. It gives us such a feeling, such a satisfaction. So that is why we should serve. And moreover, I believe in the statement said by Vivekananda that we should leave a mark on this earth before we leave the earth. So that is what for I feel that we should serve others unconditionally. And this is the value of our existence on the earth. If without doing anything, if I die, if I leave the earth, then the value of my existence on the earth makes no sense. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Next.
Any other?
Sanjana Bhuyan, why don't you speak? Say something.
Good evening, all. I'm Sanjana Bhuya. Actually, volunteering gives me self-satisfaction, mainly. It gives immense pleasure. Okay, so that it gives me lots and lots of happiness. That's why I am serving. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now
Anyone? Okay, if no one more, so here I close my presentation. Happy
Good evening. Good evening to all.
And Madhavi Dev.
Yes, may I please speak? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
We know service to others is service to God. When we serve others, means we are serving God. And serving others give us immense pleasure. And in this art, being on this art, if we are able to serve, if we are able to do something for others, it gives us happiness. And so I like to serve others. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vikas ji, for this wonderful handling of the topic. It was indeed a very fruitful session. And my dear Lion friends, meanwhile, we have our own charismatic district governor, Lion Rajkumar ji Ringania, with us. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the third and final session of YLLI.
Thank you
It's
very much.
wonderful under your leadership with us. Lion
Thank you very
Rajkumar
much.
ji Ringania.
Thank you very much. Firstly, sorry for the delay as I am in another meeting. So I excuse all of you and my congratulations to all the leaders. First, Y District Governor Line Shubhankar Sen and our own GLT and our PMCC line Mandira ji. This is all because of our GLT leader this time. As आज उनकी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है मैडम की फिर भी सीज मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि this is all your efforts madam. So congratulations ma'am. And firstly, I congratulate to PMCC, our GLT District Coordinator line Mandira Chanda, line Rishabh Loda, Cabinet Secretary and line Vikas Tuwani, being trained, evaluated, qualified and selected as MD 322 YLLI, that is Young Lions Leadership Institute for the next 3 years. Friends, we have started first session of YLLI on 24th of September. Thereafter, second session we have completed on 11th of October 2020, and this is our third and final session, that is today. Friends, this year is a leadership year. I always say this year is a leadership year because we have a leader like our PMCC Mandira ji. That is our pride of our district, and so many, just you have seen in the just 4 months, the support of you all, the leadership program, our GLT district coordinator, Mandira Chandaji, has taken an all efforts for arranging all the programs, that is, whether that is schooling, might be that all, that webinars, and that from our, that India's top leaders. They visited our district, and definitely this is our third and final session YLI. This is a very important schooling for those lines who have joined the association in just last 4 years. My all best wishes to you, Lions, for the fantastic year in Lionism. I always remain grateful to our guest faculty for their wonderful support to our district. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Himabrato. Thank you, Vikas. And thank you, Cabinet Secretary, for the wonderful support, wonderful to our district. And I thank you and congratulations to all our YLLI, that I will say the expert line. Now they are the leader. They become this, they know about the organization, they know. So I definitely in future, definitely our district will gain lots from you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ringania-ji. That was our district governor, under whose able leadership we are really going strong even in this pandemic conditions. Yeah.
Thank you. So this is time now for our second session. And the second session will be led by Dr. Himabrata Chakraborty himself. And we all know Himabrata, he's the course coordinator for this YLLI, which he has conducted very well till now. And we have now come to the third and the final one. And here, to say a few words about Himabrata, he's a very hardworking, dedicated lion whom I have known for so many years. And many of you may know, and many of you may not also know, that he's the head of the department of zoology in the FS College in Hailakandi. He's doing very well in his professional life. At the same time, he's maintaining his duties towards this Lions movement. So here we have Lion Dr. Himabrata Chakraborty. And his topic will be goal setting. Over to you, Himabrata.
Thank you very much, our beloved Mandiradi and our district GLT coordinator. It's always been wonderful knowing you, working with you, and serving Lionism. Dear friends, we have come to the second topic of our third session, and that is goal setting. Well, I would like to start this topic, or rather I would like to discuss with you with a saying anonymous. If you really want to fulfill your dreams, wake up. सपने पूरा करने चाहते हो तो जाग जाओ. But then let me share with you one story before we really go into the thick of this topic. We know about a king who had 4 wives. It is said that all of us have 4 wives. Well, let us consider that we are all males, irrespective of gender, for the sake of this story. कि हम सबके 4 बीवियां होते हैं. So this king, who was very rich, had a huge country. He was old at a certain time, and while he knew that he would be dying pretty soon, he went to his youngest wife and asked her. She was very pretty, and the king used to spend much of time and money on her. The king asked her, I would be dying. Would you go with me to the pyre? Would you die with me? She said, no, I'll be here. I will not go, I'll be here. The king was a bit sad. He went to the third wife. She was very beautiful, and the king was very proud of her. When the king asked the third wife, my dear wife, I'm so proud of you. Would you go with me? She said with a smile, my dear king, when you die, I will be somebody else's. The king was shocked of his life. He went to the second wife. She was a bit middle-aged, but very caring. And the same question he put to the second wife. And the wife said, well, king, I will go up to a certain length, do all your duties, and take care of the things that you would leave behind. But I cannot go with you. Then he went to the first wife, who was very old, tattered, uncared for, and has now become not so beautiful. And when he asked the first wife, would you be with me? She said, yes, of course I'll be with you. I am the only one who would be with you. Now the moral of the story lies that the first wife who said I'll be here is our body. We spent a lot of time on our body, pampering it, caring for it. But when we die, our body remains here. The second wife, the king is so proud of, is his money. And what she said? She said the moment you die, I will be somebody else's. So the money that you have or we have becomes somebody else's the moment we are no more. The second wife are our friends and relatives. They go to certain length. And the first wife is the real we within the body, the soul. Now, that is the only thing that goes. Now, why I have started this with this story? Because we are not born on this earth not for nothing. There is a purpose. Here, we understand the purpose really tells us what should be our goal, and we can set the goal in such a way that we can actualize it, we can realize it. As you can see in the first slide, the first step of goal setting is the purpose is to make the invisible visible. When you set a goal and you know what goal to set, you have actually quantified it, actualized it, acquired it. You just need to go the length to have it. Is not it, my dear friends? Now, why do we set the goal? Now, we set goals because we should not be led nowhere in the path, the journey of life in the long term as well as in the short term. The short-term goals are those that we do in our life, in our day-to-day life, in our profession, in our societal relation. And there are long-term goals which we would do for our generations, for our nation, for the solace of my heart and my mind, so that there is a perpetuation of that goal and an impact is created. Now, unless and until we set goals, we cannot become successful because we would be not having proper planning. And without planning, we all know that failing to plan is planning to fail. You might remember that there was a famous song, Jaate the Japan, Pahunch gaye Cheen. Samajh gaye na? Now, you don't have a goal. So you set out for some place, you reach somewhere else. That's what happens when you don't really put your eye onto the target first. Just as the slide says, beginning with the end in mind. If really you are focused on what you have set out to achieve, then you know what are the steps you should take, what are the resources that you have to add on, what are the skills and diversities that you have to bring in, so that one day and in good time you can really go there where your mind, your want, your feelings want you to be. You can take examples from the world. There are very many. There are people who have become super rich. Like you can take the example of Dhirubhai Ambani. From the days of being a schoolmaster's son, going to Turkey to serve as a petrol pump boy, to becoming the richest family in the nation and almost the second or third richest family today, it definitely, he had a goal in his mind and could do it in one generation. You can take the example of Laila Majnu. If you think love matters, definitely. They have this goal of being in love. So they are Jununi for that. You can take the example of Mirabai. Rana ne bis diya, Mira ne amrit piya. So that is the goal. When you set the mind to your goal and you are motivated enough to achieve that, nothing matters. We prioritize our goal with the kind of support that we need and tell ourselves that yes, I must do it, I have to do it. It is not under any duress, but because this is what gives me happiness. That makes a goal a real goal. But again, goal has to be empirical. We call it a SMART goal. The acronym SMART here stands for your goal has to be specific, which is very clear, a very specific goal, not a very blurred, a wide, a non-specific type of a goal. That I want to go to US, maybe I'll land in Heathrow in London, not like that, a specific goal. And the goal has to be measurable, quantifiable. It has to be attainable in the sense that I think of becoming what? Maybe the president of US. Of course, these days everything is possible, but for everybody to think that I'll become the president of the United States might not be an attainable goal. So the goal has to be as much as measurable in terms of its specificity and also attainable for the person who is thinking of that. And then the goal must be relevant. Well, the relevancy, because if you run behind a goal which has got no real value in the life or in the society or in the work that you are into, then this goal has just wastage of time. Many of you might have attended the new members orientation yesterday, and we have heard Pankaj Mehta ji speaking on the Lions Internationals, doing research and then refocusing its goals on the 5 basic service points, because what he said, the exact words were, we are such a big organization with 14 lakhs plus volunteers, but why we do not have that much impact? Lions International did a research and focused on these 5 areas of service: hunger, diabetes, childhood cancer, environment, all these things. And now the relevancy has increased. The relevancy of our goal in Lionism is to serve, and these are the areas into which we would focus now so that the entire movement become more relevant. That is a SMART goal, and it has to be very timely. A goal set on all the other parameters but then procrastinated, delayed, कल करे सो आज कर, ना करके कल करे सो परसों कर, रख दिए, वो नहीं होने वाला. Our SMART goal will definitely become less smarter and then diminish. So these are the then we would have to ask and take help of these 5 friends of ours. Why, what, why, who, where, which. Now, this is all about the specificity. I've already discussed the specificity, because unless you have the clear idea of your goal, that from 10 years from now, like we have in business, or somebody who is trying to have a financial portfolio, there are managers nowadays who tell you that, well, today you are earning this much, from 10 years down the line, you should have a corpus of 1 crore, 1.5 crore. So this is quantifying, what do I want to accomplish? Your accomplishment could be financial, your accomplishment could be emotional, your accomplishments could be service oriented, which is again emotional, might be not personal but societal. Your accomplishments should be, might be some post that you want to be. You wanted to become a collector. If you go to the entire North India, you would find kya banna hai, collector banna hai. So that is something that what I really want to become. Maybe one goal that, or one what that is important, I really want to become a good human being. I think that is one of a kind of a perfect goal setting it would be. Anyway, why the goal is important? Because it gives us a sense of being. जो दिशाहीन उड़ता रहता है, उसका कोई अता पता नहीं रहता. Now, Why the goal is important? When there is a goal, I move in a certain direction, I do certain things, I give myself relevance, a value, an importance for the time I'm spending, for the money I am spending, for the people and the service I am doing. All of these things are attached with the why thing of the goal. Why the goal is important? Because without the why, everything else becomes meaningless. Now, who is involved? When we really have to have a goal which is specific, we have to determine that for my goal, who are the persons or what are the things that needs to be involved. Take the example of a football team. They have a football and the goal is to put the ball into the net. There are 11 players, but each of them forget their individuality in the field and they are playing like a well-organized machine, passing the ball from one to another. The target is, the goal is the goal. So to put the ball into the goal is their goal, and that's what they do. And when they put the ball in the goal number 1, goal number 2, that is quantifiable, and the achievable thing is that they win. And what they do it in a certain time, which is 90 minutes. So that is the time limit, the quantifiability, and the target. So a football team is a very good example of a specific, focused teamwork, goal achievement. Now, where is it located? I cannot say that give me a ball and 11 members and come to my bedroom, we will play a game of football. That would be planning to fail and getting injured. So the location is as much important to make it a very specific one. And which resources are involved? You have, again, I'm taking the example of a football field. You have a football game and the 11 players are being changed with 11 dancers. Now that would be wrong resourcing, because every goal has its own demand for the resources, not only in terms of human resources, but also in terms of infrastructure and your mindset. That is most important. Now, coming to the next point, that is to be measurable. As I said, to have a utopic idea that I will have a castle on the moon by the year 2030. Now that could be as foolish as one can think of as of today, but who knows what Elon Musk is thinking. But anyways, so the measurable goal is one which really is quantifiable beforehand. How much, how many, and how will I know when it is accomplished? Because वो है ना एक कहानी थोड़ा और, ये थोड़ा और के चक्कर में जिंदगी भर घिस जाता है, सकून नहीं मिलता. That point where I know that enough is enough, be it money, be it success, be it your property, or be it anything, because ultimately the real goal would be peace of mind. So what really brings you to that line of accomplishment is an inner thought. When you know where to stop, you know how far to go. If you have an insatiable target, you are always unhappy. When you are unhappy in such situations, don't look up, look down. That's what makes a better measurable goal when you compare the two sides of the society. So we have to put our goal in such a way which is measurable within a very sane mindset, that we can achieve it and measure it and be happy with it. Now again, we have the achievable point. As I said, achieving anything today is possible, and that's how it is put. That you can achieve everything if you really want to, and I don't deny that. But goals are not mind games. Goals are specific. So we have to achieve it in time. It might be achievable in 50 years, but that would not bring the value of the goal. If it is achievable in a certain time period, then the real goal is said to be achieved. Therefore, the word achievable should not be confused with whether something is achievable and not achievable. Rather, whether it is achievable within that specific time in which I have framed it. If not, then we should really do a reassessment of the SMART acronym from the very beginning, so that our achievement and our time frame and our quantification, input and output, are on the plus side and definitely not on the minus. So it should stretch your ability but still remain possible. It should challenge you, but it should not be filteringly away from you, because it has to be realistic. And all achievable goals have to be put through the test of time. How realistic the goal based on other constraints such as financial factor, that's one factor, time, resources, the place that we are doing. Today, as line members, we are talking of achieving 2 million services every year. Now, and we have achieved it. And we are increasing that because we think that the Lions movement in the coming years would be a greater movement. So every year there is a addition of strength, and based on the strength, the target is elevated so that it is achievable. Still, it is a new target. That's how we want to serve the people there around us. Now, the relevance is very important. All of these are the inbuilt part of a goal. Now, the relevance of a goal is definitely the most important issue. If it is not relevant in today's context, if it is not relevant in what I really want to do, if my mind and my heart don't sync, then my goal is irrelevant. I'm doing something which my heart does not support, but under the circumstantial condition I'm doing it, that will reduce the relevancy because you will not sustain yourself. And while we talk of the relevancy of the goal, the first and foremost thing people tend to think is whether it benefits me, whether it's relevant to me, self-centric. And then when there is satisfaction in the self, people think, well, whether it has got relevance to my family, then to my society, then to my district, my country. And ultimately, the relevancy of every goal should be relevancy to life on earth. I will not even say humanity. It is the Mother Earth, and all our activities, all our goals, and all our endeavors should be targeted towards the betterment, upliftment, and preservation of this Mother Earth for the future, so that our coming generations should not feel that their forefathers have really been so selfish that they have left with us a skeleton of earth where we are perishing. Prime Minister of Argentina had long back said, we have not inherited this world from our forefathers. We have merely borrowed it from our children. On that context too, the relevance of goal should be measured. In personal context, we think of the relevance in terms of the gain. We think of the relevance in terms of the benefit to the family, then to our friends. Of course, this is important because when you are doing a certain work, we cannot always be scholastic. We have to be relevant in terms of the specificity of the work that we are doing. In Lionism, the relevancy of our goal is in seeing as many people laughing and happy who were suffering, to uplift them from any sort of sorrow, to put smile into the face of a child, to put light back into the eye of a cataract blind, to put a warm cloth in the winter night onto a poor person's body. That is relevance. That gives us, Lion, the relevance of the goal that we serve. And time bound. घर में बैठे जिंदगी भर का टाइम है, मेरा गोल तो पीछे पड़ा हुआ है, मैं कर लूंगा. अगेन ए स्मॉल स्टोरी. अपनी कमाई, बहुतों ने पढ़ा होगा. एक लाला था, a businessman. He had a son. Now he never did anything. So he said, जा बेटा आज कुछ कमा के ला, नहीं तो रात को खाना नहीं मिलेगा. He did not go anywhere. In the evening, when the father was about to come, he went to his mother, pleaded with her, got a rupee, and when the father came, he put it right in front of him and said, "This is my aaj ki kamai." The father said, "Go and throw it into the well." He promptly went and threw it in the well. The second day, father understood. He told his mother not to give any money. The child was asked the same question. What he did, he went to his aunt and took that same amount and put it in front of the father. Again, the father told, "Go and throw it in the well." He did the same. But in the third day, when the father understood everything and stopped all sorts of money, the son was disturbed and he had a limited time. He was given a limited time. Within this much time, you have to earn a rupee. And ultimately, he had to go to the bazaar and pick a bag and put it in somebody's house within a time frame that his father has put him to. So his goal here was to earn that 1 rupee within the time on the third day, because he understood that if he does not do that in that 1 minute, one time that his father has given, his father would definitely not pardon him this time. So whatever we do, a time-bound goal is a real goal. Without a time bound, we cannot call it a goal. It might be our desire. So a desire is a timeless affair. We are not bound by any limits. But a goal is definitely time bound. What can I do in the next 6 months from now? What can I do in next week? Why go so far? Take the example of Lions District 322G. Pandemic is on. From July, we have started this Lionistic year. What can we do? What can we do? But what we are not doing, we have all really been doing great. So that is time bound. Now coming to the action plan. You can see here that in the cloud, we have the schedule, again the time, the action and the objectives on two sides. My time is this. This is my objective that I have to achieve. If I have to achieve this objective, I have to act in a certain way. Now, action means implementation. And when you want to implement a certain action, you need collaboration. That means you need people who are in the knowledge of things, who would help you. That could be people, that could be things, that could be machineries, whatever you need. That's collaboration. And collaboration and implementation needs a strategy. That means we have to move in a certain direction so that we can reach at a certain point. And when we do the journey, we improve on the journey. We improvise, that's improvement. And off and on, we do a checking. We do a cross-checking. So in one hand, we have the schedule, which is pushing us. And then on the other hand, we have the objective. And in between, we have the collaboration, how to implement it, what are the things that we need, what would be the strategy, how to implement it, and what are the improvements that we can do en route. That is what is the action plan. To be alive, to be like a firebrand, burning inside like a candle, and knowing what to do, how to do, where to do, within what time to do, and what to achieve. And definitely, my dear friends, stick to that plan, and you are the one who is number one. That's very sure. So here we are. The last slide says, discipline is the bridge between goal and accomplishment. Now, everything apart, if you don't have discipline, if you don't have self-control, if you don't have that self-dictated control on your emotions, on your actions, then all your planning can go awry. I'm going back to my first statement. The quickest way to realize your dream is to wake up, and wake up through disciplined steps. And definitely, if we follow our SMART acronym and our action plan and stick to the point that we really want to achieve in life, we can be very, very successful. Thank you. I would request the participants to give feedback on what they think is the primary goal of being a human being and also being a Lions member, and why you are a Lions member, with what goal, please.
Thank you, Himabrata. That was a very wonderful session and really thought-provoking. And now we come to the last and the final session of
Ms.
this entire
Ms.
YLLI.
Aruna Dev is trying to say something.
Yes.
Line Aruna Dev.
No.
Is line Aruna Dev trying to say something?
I think she has switched off her video.
Okay. Okay. So now we have come to the third topic of our third session, and this is a very important topic, which is decision making through LLC. And as per the new guidelines, all our YLLI participants need to complete a course in the LLC, Lions Learning Center, so that they can be certified as YLLI graduates. And who better than our own Lion Mandiradi, our GLT coordinator, to guide you through the do's and don'ts and how to accomplish this act of finishing your course. So this is the first course on decision making, which Lion Mandira Di would guide you through. I welcome Mandira Di. Please.
Thank you, Himabrata. Thank you. So till now, I have seen many of you have been listening very attentively, and some of you were even making notes, and that shows your seriousness. And yes, this program, this last session is on Lions Learning Center, which many of you have already done. Like we had a target from multiple this year to do about 100 Lions to do Lions Learning Center programs. And you had to do 2 courses from Lions Learning Center. But I was so overwhelmed to see that many of our members did all the courses. There are over 30 courses, and some of them had done all the courses of Lions Learning Center. So, so now you as upcoming leaders of our district, the idea of global leadership team is to create new leaders. Okay, so you have seen how we are creating leaders. Himabrato has become a leader already. Now we have become, we are bringing in Tuani ji, Vikas Tuani, you have seen him present today. Rishabh has also become a faculty for YLLI. So we are bringing in new leaders every day, and our duty as the leadership team is to create new leaders every day. And now you, the young lions, see, when we say young lions, we don't mean young in age, but you are young because you have joined Lionism much later in the last 4 or 5 years. And that is why we refer to you as young lions. And this is a learning period for you. You are being trained to become a better leader. Believe me, you are already a leader. But through these trainings, you become a better leader. So now you have to listen to this very carefully. Those who have done the Lions Learning Center courses, so you know how to log in and how to take up the courses there. But those who have not taken up, not done any course from Lions Learning Center, this is where you have to pay attention, and so that you can log in yourself to the Lions Learning Center and do the courses therein. Today we are just going to show how to log in, and we will together do one particular course. We will select one particular course, and that is decision making. Okay, and mind you, you are going to do that all by yourself within the next 2-3 days, and send in your completed, you know, when you complete a course, it comes on your screen that you have completed successfully. So you have to take a screenshot of that and send it to us. And we will send it to the multiple, and only then you will be eligible for the certificate. Okay, so unless you do a course from Lions Learning Center yourself, you will not be eligible for the certificates. Okay, so this is because we want you to become the upcoming leaders of our district. You are the leader in the making. So let's start. So this is a slide from our Lions website. So all of you know what is our Lions International website? If you know, please write it in your chat box. Those who know what is our Lions International website, hurry up. You can write on the website just to see how many of you know our website. Yeah. So when you log into the Lions website, then you see this screen, the main screen. This keeps changing, okay? Don't worry if you don't see the same picture. You may see some other picture. And so you go to join, member login. Can you see member login here? So you go to member login, and then you come to this page, welcome to your Lions account. And there you will see, if you have already registered, then you don't have to do this. But you are the first timer, you have to log in with your email ID or your phone number, and you have to create your own password, right? Then you have to sign in, you register, okay? So if you find any problem doing this, you take the help of any computer savvy person close to you who is at home or nearby. You may call him or her, and then you do this login if you find any difficulty. But I know most of you are quite well equipped and you are computer savvy. You can do this yourself. So after you log in here, this is what you will see. Have you registered on My Lion app? So if it is yes, you say yes. If it is no, you say no. So you have to log in to register in the MyLine app, because the registration, your phone numbers or your email IDs will remain the same. See, you have to remember one thing, whatever email ID you have given and which is already registered with the Lions International, you have to give the same email ID. So now if your email ID has changed and you try to give a new ID, so maybe initially you will have problem unless you correct it. Same with your phone number also. If you have given earlier a different phone number and you try to log in with a new phone number, you may have problems initially. Then again, you have to go through the process of giving your phone number, and it takes time for it to get registered with the international. It may take, say, any time between 3 days to 1 week, depending on how busy the international site is. So once you have successfully logged in, you will come to this. Yes, this is your creating your Lions account. Okay. And here, most interestingly, all of you have to know your membership ID. Okay, when you become a member of Lions Clubs International, you are given a membership ID. Okay, so how many of you know your membership IDs? Anybody who remembers can write down in the chat box. Anybody who remembers your membership ID? That is one thing you have to always remember. Okay. So if you know, you can write down. And if you don't know, please find out and try to memorize your member ID. Then you give your correct month, date, and year. See, if you keep on changing your month, date, and year, you will have a big problem. So don't change whatever was given at the time of enrollment. When you became a member, you have to maintain the same account. Your Lions account, that is the email address you had given initially, or the mobile number. If it is the same mobile number, you can continue with the same mobile number. If it is a new one, then you will have to wait till it is registered. Then you create your own password. Okay. After you create a password, yes, this is common. You have to retype your password, and then you have to just tick on the boxes that you see below. I have read and agreed to Lions Club International privacy policy. So these are things that you need to do. Otherwise, you are not allowed to log in. Okay. So when you are successfully logged in, you will see this page. This is the member portal page, and that will say welcome and your name. This was created by Amita Jaina. Remember Amita Jaina from Multiple District 322? She is the GLT coordinator, the second coordinator. So she created this. So it is still in Amita's name. But when you create and you log in, so they will say welcome your name. Supposing welcome Ruma Shaha, welcome Himabrata, welcome, okay? Your name will be seen there, welcome Lion so-and-so. So now where do you want to go? See, you have this My Lion, you have My LCI, you have Inside, then you have Learn, you have Shop. Okay, Shop, you can also buy things from the club supplies. So this is for the club supply. So where should we go? If you want to go to the Lions Learning Center, yes, we should go to Learn. You say this Learn, okay, you have to click in Learn. And when you click in Learn, you get this Learn, Grow, Lead, right? So you get here on the left hand side, you can see online training, take free online courses. See, the best part of this Lions Learning Center is that sitting at the comfort, in the comfort of your home, you can learn so many courses. You can take up so many courses from Lions Learning Center, which is absolutely free, and there is no time constraint. Supposing you take up a course and midway you have to get up and go, you can get up and go. And when you come back after, say, many days, you can, when you open it, you will find that you have completed that much percentage of that course, and you will start not from the beginning, but where you have left. Again, another good part is that all these programs, interesting courses that you see, they are less than 1 hour. Most of them are not even half an hour. Some are 20 minutes, some are half an hour, some are 45 minutes. So it does not take much time. It is very, very flexible. Okay, so the international is giving you so much of comfort, so much of easy learning from Lions Learning Center. So now where will we go? You can see on the right hand side, Lions Learning Center, and there is this go button, yellow button. You click on the button and you come to this. So you can see welcome Amita Jaina. So there it will be your name. You will be welcomed by the international. Then what do we need to do? We have to find out which course we want to take up. So there is the list of course which will appear here. Okay, see decision making, EN is, it's in English. EN is the short form for English. So there is decision making, there is delegation, there is so many other. Okay, there is many courses over here, and you select your own, whichever you want to do. So today, just to show you, let us select decision making. Okay, so you see this particular box, welcome to the new Lions Learning Center. Use the menu on the left to navigate to find the courses on your home page or dashboard. So browse the available course in the course library and gain achievement by completing the course. So these are the steps they're asking you to follow. So which course will we take? We have decided already on decision making. Okay, so let us click at decision making. So when you click at decision making, you find this particular page. Okay, so it already has 4 stars out of 5 stars. So it is a very popular, you can imagine. Okay, now let us see what you see in the picture. In the picture, you see a man standing there with his backpack on, and you see there is a path going straight, and obviously there is another path going on his right hand side. So he cannot decide which path to take. So here he needs to take a very important decision, whether to take the path on the left or to take the path on the right. Okay, so this is how sometimes we need to take decisions. We have to see, so this is not a very, very typically Lions topic. You are at a situation like this at any moment of your life. It may be in the home front, it may be in your professional life, it may be in your Lions clubs also. So now what do you want to do? Do you want to continue this course? If you want to continue the course, this you will have to click on this, continue the course. Okay, you can see this orange button, you have to click on this button. But here, this Lions decision making has 3 steps. Can you see here at the bottom? Decision making steps, then the decision making styles, then finally the decision making methods. So we click on this first decision making step, and now let us start the steps. So this is an introduction to the decision making steps. Decision making is the process of making a decision with a goal of selecting an alternative or determining a course of action from among several options. Like I said, the man was confused whether to take the left-hand side road or the path on the right-hand side. So this is where you need to take a good decision, how to do it. Okay, let us see what is the instruction given here. A thorough decision-making process comprises 6 steps. Okay, when we say 6 steps, see how beautifully you can see the steps, the foot marks here. All these foot marks are the steps that you need to take. And yes, let us read the steps. Number 1 is identify the needs. What is your need? You have to understand that yourself. So that is called identifying needs. Secondly, gather information. In order to take a step, you need to you have to collect some information. Then number 3 is list alternative. What are the alternatives open to you? So you have to list them down. Then explore options. Are there any more options? What are the options? Then select an option. If there are more than two, select the right option that you want to take. Then finally, evaluate and implement. After you have selected the option, you will evaluate and then finally you work it out, implement. So we'll start with the click on the first footstep at the left to continue learning more about each step. So where will you click now? The button. You will click in the footsteps here. Okay, you click on the footstep, and when you click on the footstep, what do you get? Okay, this one. Describe the steps of decision-making process. The 6 steps of the decision-making process are, okay, when I said identifying need, confirm the need to make a decision. Okay, you definitely must be having some need. What are the needs? Then as I said, gather information. Number 2, find information from all sources. Okay, there may be many sources. You have to gather the information from all these sources. Number 3, list alternative. You make a list of all the alternatives available to you. Establish the feasible option. Feasible is which is the more appropriate, workable option. You have to find that out. Then number 4, explore option, assess and compare options. If you have more than one option, you have to assess. You have to try to study those, examine it, test it, and compare which will be the best option. Select an option, that is number 5. Choose one of the alternatives. And finally, number 6, evaluate and implement. As I said, review the decisions and finally implement it, right? So apply your knowledge of decision-making steps in action. Let's say your club is planning a day for clearing invasive plant species from a local municipal forest. So that you automatically understand that your club is preparing for a project, an activity or a service activity on tree plantation. You want to do tree plantation. As a leader of this project, you need to decide how to recruit line volunteers of this work. So who do you want to be a member of this project? Okay, there may be so many members in your club. So who will be the right person to work with you to make the project successful? So you have to find somebody who is interested in tree planning, who would like to volunteer, somebody who is free to do it. Okay, you have to find out whom to recruit as a volunteer. The following activity asks you to correctly order the steps for making this kind of decision. See, this LLC courses are so interesting because it is full of activities. They're always leading you to do something, match the following, play a game, do this activity. So here you have an activity. Click and drag each description on the right to its matching step on the left on decision-making process. So when you have matched the both the sides, click and check mark in the right corner to submit your answer. Okay, so you remember all these steps. First of all, identify need. So you have the list in a jumbled form. Okay, like your children, do it. Match the following. Okay, they have their homework. Sometimes you help your children with the homework. You have to do this. Okay, so let's see how many of you can do this. Identify need. So here, which will be the right option for identify need? The option of Facebook may reach. Anybody wants?
You need a plan for.
You need a plan.
You need a plan.
Right.
Yes. Volunteers.
Very good, very good.
You need a plan.
Number 1 will match with, you need a plan for recruiting 20 volunteers. That is step number 1. How many volunteers we require? 20 volunteers. This is the Then you gather information. What information you gather? Gather information.
Number four.
Gather information.
Gather information suggests that the communication medium is important.
Number 4.
Number 4 on the right.
Okay.
Explore options. Yes.
Number 4.
Then number 3, list alternative. On the left is list alternative.
Number 5. Alternates of flyers, email,
Flyers, email, the club, website, and social media.
Social media.
Number 5.
Very well.
Yes.
Number 5 on the right hand side.
Social media.
Select an option. Select an option.
Option of Facebook.
Facebook में.
Option.
Option
of Facebook.
Number 1.
Okay.
Option of Facebook.
In this, evaluate the first attempt itself.
Evaluate and implement that putting in notice.
Okay.
Number 6. Last one is number 6.
Evaluate and implement. You evaluate.
Yes, evaluate and implement by putting a notice on your club Facebook page.
Very good, very good. All have done very well. So the first attempt, all of you will pass, right? Okay. Now let's. Okay. So when you get an activity like this, first you will be asked to do the activity, and then they will show you which are the correct answers. So here you have the correct answers. You have already done it. So these are the correct answers, and all of you have passed this. Next, where do we go next? As line leader, you must make decisions. Some are simple, but others are complicated. Help ensure the most positive outcome of any decision by following the 6 steps process for decision making. And this process can help you define, assess, and organize alternatives, leading to the best possible decision and thus success for your clients. So you have now learned the 6 steps, and you have also learned how to use the 6 steps. Then it will help you in starting the decision making process well. Okay. Now, yes, another activity. So all of you have remembered your steps. Now let us see. Decision making steps, it is a quick review. Okay, we are just testing you, assessing you. Drag and drop each card at the right to the appropriate place in the decision making steps. Okay, so all of you remember what was your first step? Anybody remembers what was the first step? The first step was
Identifying need.
Identifying need. Identify the need. Okay, but then this is green tablets. You see this green tablets will come to
Evaluate and implement.
Okay.
6. Number 6.
Number
Yes.
6. Yes.
Number 6.
Very good, very good. So what you have to do is you have to drag this and place it in number 6. You have to place it. Okay. So once you have placed it here, then another will come in this place. Another will come in this place. Supposing I say select an option. Select an option here like this.
Number 5.
So that will be in number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
So you have been listening very attentively. Okay, now supposing here in place of evaluate and implement, you have gather information.
Number 2.
Number 2. Number 2.
Yes.
Number 2. Number 2.
Number 2. Number 2.
Then you get explore options.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. Number 4.
Number 4. Yes,
Then
number 4.
Then list alternative.
Number 3.
Number 3.
3, ma'am.
Number 3. Number 3.
List alternative. And finally, yes, I think explore options.
Evaluating.
Explore options is number 4.
Number 4.
Okay, so we are going one by one again. Number 1 is identify need.
Need.
Number 2 is
Gather information.
Number 3 is list.
List alternatives.
Alternatives.
Number 4 is
Explore options.
Explore options.
Number 5 is select.
Select options.
And finally,
Evaluate and implement.
very good. Give a clap to yourselves. All of you can clap for yourselves. Okay. So we have passed this first step. Okay. So the first part of your decision making training is over. Now, what was the second? You remember? Yeah, these are the right answers. So you already passed this. Let us go to the module 2. You remember I said the first module was on decision-making steps. Now you get the second module, which is the decision-making styles. You have different styles. So this course is about decision-making, comprising 3 modules that explain decision-making as a process. And it presents the steps involved in decision-making, different decision-making styles, and the ways to increase effectiveness. Okay, let us see. What are the 3 styles? Okay. Now, there are 4 basic styles of decision-making. Okay, you see this arrow, this is analytic, this is conceptual, and this is behavioral. What are the 4 basic styles? You have to remember. The first one is
Arrow.
That is that. So this arrow means
Directive.
Directive.
Where did it go? Yeah. Or did it jump? Yeah. So we were here. So the first one was directive. So directive is indicated by this arrow. Okay. Analytic will be indicated by this, this screen that you see. Then conceptual will be here. You see your tube light, that stands for knowledge, understanding, that is conceptual. Then finally behavioral. So this is the symbol for behavioral. Okay. So let us start. So here, what is directive? Directive decision makers sort out the pros and cons of the situation based on what they already know. From what you already know, you have to go to what you do not know. And they are rational and they have low tolerance of ambiguity. Ambiguity, you understand? When the meaning is not very clear, vague, we say it is ambiguous. So this is ambiguity. They are rational and they have low tolerance of ambiguity. Such decision makers, they are very impatient. They have low tolerance and base their decision on their own knowledge, experience, and rationale. Okay, so they are the direct decision makers. They are bold. They are confident of their own knowledge and confident of their own experience. And what is rational? They think they have good logical judgment. They are good at making judgment. Okay. So now we go to analytical. Analytic was the second style. So this style of decision makers are, they review a lot of information before they take action. They study a lot. They think a lot. They want to gather information before they take any action. Secondly, they rely on direct observation, data, facts to support their decision. They will go and study a lot, they will find data, they will find facts, and then they will take the decision. Third, advice from others to confirm or refute their own understanding. They are not like this directive. They seek advice from others. Here in the first one, directive, you have seen that they are confident of their own knowledge, own experience. But here, they try to seek advice from others to confirm or refute their understanding. So these kind of decision makers are called analytic. Then we come to the third, conceptual. Okay, conceptual is based on knowledge and understanding. So conceptual decision makers are concerned with long-term results. They don't go for the short-term results, they go for the long-term results, brainstorm alternatives and use creative approach for solving problems. They are willing to take risks. They are risk takers. They employ a social, collaborative and creative approach. So these are conceptual decision makers. They study a lot, they go for long-term results. They are not fast or impatient. They are patient people. They are willing to wait and see and study. They are also willing to take risks. So these are called conceptual. And the final one is behavioral. So how are these behavioral decision makers? Behavioral decision makers make sure everyone works well together. It is a joint effort. They give the group the option available to them. So when they are working together in a group, the options are given in front of them, and they have to choose what options they have. They facilitate a discussion of the pros and cons of each choice. See, like in a democracy, everything is done by discussions and debate. So they give a chance to everybody to discuss and debate and then finally arrive at the solution. So can you identify yourself? Are you a directive decision maker? Are you analytic? Are you conceptual? Identify yourself. If you can identify, you can write down in the chat box. Just write down. So this is not an exam. We are not trying to judge you. We are not going to test you. It is just for fun. Okay, just for fun, you write down whether you are directive, you are analytic, you are conceptual, or you are behavioral. Okay, so that was just fun. Now we come to this. This is the work that we have to do. There you have a list of the styles. You have to click on each style for its suggestive use. Directive. What kind of people are directive? The situation is stable. The issue is part of a pattern. The event is consistent. Okay? In analytic, there may be more than one right answer. There may be an obvious cause-effect result, and the facts may be used to explore viable options. So let us see. Conceptual. There are many competing ideas, more than one ideas, okay? And the situation may be unpredictable. You don't know what lies ahead. So creative approaches may provide an answer. You have to be more creative, imagination, use your imagination, etc. Now we come to behavioral. There is time to be proactive. Then there is medium of communicating, when similar past decisions can be considered. So you are very considerate and you are proactive and you have a medium of communicating with others. Okay, so let us see. Yeah. So finally, whatever you have learned about the different styles, this is just a summary or a review. So here you are to click on this icon, but here you cannot, because this is already a recorded version, so you cannot click here, but there you will be asked to click on this icon and then compare various decision-making styles. There are 4 basic styles of decision-making that you know. Directive. So directive is
Conceptual behavior. Directive, analytic.
Directive, analytic, conceptual, and behavioral.
Conceptual, behavioral.
We know there are 4 styles. So what is directive?
Rational maker.
Rational basis decisions on proposal.
Seeks and uses information and observation. Conceptual, consider activity. risk taking and long-term results, behavioral, emphasize option and group
Right answers.
discussion.
These are the right answers because your review is already passed here. So you have to click on this and then the review option will come and there you have to match. But these are the right answers where it is given because we know behavioral means what? When that emphasizes options for group discussion, we know we value the decision of others. Whatever we are doing in a democratic way through discussions and debates. So it is, so these are the right answers. So now you have learned the different steps of decision making. Then you have also learned about the different styles of decision. So what is next? Methods. The third module is on decision making methods. So this course comprises 3 modules that explain decision making as a process. Process meaning that it goes on. So this doesn't stop. Process means something that continues, goes on, that is a process. It presents the steps involved in decision making, different decision making styles, and ways to increase effectiveness during group decision making. Okay, so let us see the methods. Okay. 3 useful methods for increasing effectiveness in group decision making. First is voting. So if you cannot take a decision right now, you can have a voting. This usually is done in a club meeting when you have to take a resolution, you have to take a decision on the spot. Okay, it cannot be done for a long term. If you want to take a decision on the spot, you go for voting, right? So voting is the first method. Then comes ranking. Ranking means when there are many options, then you have to choose amongst that, which is the most important, then what. Like you prioritize things, you also have to rank. Then finally it is convergence. Okay. So this is for long term. When you have time, okay, then you go for convergence. Taking from here, taking from there, and then channelizing, that is called conversion. So let's take a closer look at how each of these can help to make a decision. Let's start with voting. Voting can be done orally, visually, or in writing, and can be public or anonymous. Sometimes when you are voting, you don't give your name. When we vote for our VDG, we don't give our name. They should not know who is voting. So that is called anonymous. But sometimes voting can also be public, like you can give your own name. So that we call as the voting is public. So this can be done orally. So if I say, how many of you agree to this? Many of you may raise your hands. So that is direct voting. If I want to make a decision right now, so, okay, let me ask you a question. See, you need to do this LLC yourself at home with your own device. And then you have to give us the copy of the screenshot that you have completed this course. Okay, so now let's go for a vote. Okay, and you let us see whether we want to do it in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. Okay, let's vote. How many of you want to do in 1 single day? That means tomorrow. Any hands rising? Sanjeev, are you raising your hand? No? Okay. How many want to do it in 2 days? Tomorrow is the first day, then the second day, day after. No hands rising? Do you understand my question? We are doing a voting right now. We are doing a voting right now. You have only 3 options. 2 options are gone. Okay. So how many of you are willing to complete it in 3 days? Raise your hands. Nobody is raising hands? We will not give you 1 week. Sorry. We will not give you 1 week. you have to complete this LLC, this course in Lions Learning Center within 3 days. Yes, now I can see the hands are raised. Okay, I can see your hands are raised. So all of you agree that within 3 days you're going to complete this course by yourself. See, I've already shown you how to do it, but you have to do it yourself in your own device. It may be your computer, your own laptop, or your own mobile phones. You have to do it in your own device so that they will complete it. Then they will show in the screen that you have completed this course successfully. So we want that screenshot. Okay. So this is direct voting. So we have done a voting with a purpose and we have been successful. Okay. So now you have understood what is voting. So voting can be done orally, visually. Now it is visually. I can see your hands up. So this is visually and or in writing. Okay. So it can be done in real time at a meeting over a period of time or via email also. This can be done. Figure out what approach will work best for your group and set up what is needed. So you have to find out what kind of decision making is proper for you. So here I felt that decision making, voting will be proper method for finding out how many days I should give you. So you have all agreed on 3 days. Within 3 days, you are going to do this Lions Learning Center decision making course and you're going to give us the shot. Okay. So this is voting. Now let us come to ranking, right? What is ranking? Ranking provides voters with a number of choices that they can put in order by preference. You have more than one choice and you have preferences. This method offers voters a way to demonstrate what they prefer without ruling out their options completely. So votes can be tallied with a number of systems to see which option is preferred by more voters. Supposing I have given you only 3 options. If I had given you many options, then you could have ranked it. Okay. So that is called ranking. That is, you have to, in ranking, what you do, you show your preferences. How many have given this preference? How many of you given the next preference? So we can be tallied, okay? And they can be numbered. So when we have more options, many options, then this ranking can be used. And last method is convergence. Say convergence, when you see the picture, you will understand. We take from this side, we take from that side, and then we finalize. So convergence works especially well with geographically dispersed groups. Geographically dispersed groups means, see, like we have joined this session today. All of us are geographically dispersed. Some are joining from Agartala, some are joining from Barakveli, some are joining from Guwahati, Tuania ji is joining from Bongaigaon. So we are all geographically dispersed. And because responses are gathered and summarized, and then the number of choices is narrowed for another round of voting. So you can go for first voting may not work, so you have to go for a second round of voting. So this process guides the group by eliminating the options and leading the voters, voting members towards a consensus. So first can be a preliminary round, then there may be a second round, and then final decision is taken. So this you can do only when you have more time in your hands. If you have less time, then you cannot go for convergence. Okay. Are you clear, all of you? Okay, so that is, so we have 3 methods of decision making. First method is voting. Second is ranking. Third is convergence. So now we have come to the last slide. Three methods for increasing effectiveness in group decision making are, so voting. What is voting? Use voting when you need a quick decision. As I told you, voting can be done on the spot when you need a quick decision that considers equal input from all group members, like we did just now. That is called voting, direct voting. Then number 2 is ranking. So what is ranking? Use ranking when there are several good options from which to choose. Not only 2 or 3 options, but there are more than 2-3 options, several options. Then you can use ranking. Then last one is convergence. We use convergence when we have time to collect suggestions and modify the ideas. So if you do not have enough time, then you cannot go for convergence. Only if you have time in your hand, then we can go for the convergence method. Okay? So that wasn't very difficult. It was easy. So when you do it yourself, then you don't have to spend much time because you have already understood. You just go over the slides and then you do the activities. Yes, there are activities and some of the activities you have already done here. So already you know what are the right answers, so that will not take much time. So you do that yourself in your own device and send us as soon as possible so that you get your certificates as soon as possible, because it will take time. Like convergence, you have to send your reports to the multiple you will issue the certificates, and then they will come, certificates will come from the multiple district 322. Okay, all of you are clear now? If you do have any question? Okay, we are back again. Yes. Now, Himabrata, would you like to take over?
Yes.
And ask them if they have any problem, any difficulty, anything they want to say, any inputs they have, because this is the last meeting in YLLI, and I hope that each one of you who has attended today should get a certificate from the multiple, and we will be the happiest because all the efforts that we have taken, Hemabrata as a course coordinator has taken a lot of efforts, myself, Tuania ji, and other members who had come as faculty to attend this YLLI. They had taken up so much of effort, and our efforts will pay off only when you get your due certificates, and we can call you line leaders. Okay, over to you, Hemabrata.
Thank you, Mandiraji. Now, that was one of the best explanation of a tough topic that I have come across. My dear line friends, I would say the best possible way, the most lucid way our JLT coordinator line Mandira ji has described and has guided you through the steps of this LLC course on decision making. Now, all of you had taken or you have volunteered to be YLLI graduates. And then now you have set a goal to become certified graduates. And the last step is you have to do this decision making so that your certificate comes to you. So look, all the 3 topics of today applies to your entire course of YLLI so pertinently. Now, I think it is clear to you, and our JLT coordinator has told you that you need to go through the course, but don't just, you cannot go directly, you have to have an account. So as it was shown to you that you have to go to the Lions website. There, if you have an account, no issues. If you don't have an account, then you have to create an account by registration. And once you do that, go into the Lions Learning Center and do the process yourself. At the end of the course, take a screenshot and send it to us so that and that also within that stipulated 3 days time. That is your goal. Your goal setting is now to become YLLI graduates by completing the decision-making LLC course within the next 3 days, starting tomorrow. That means today is 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Mandiraji, 11th at about 6 p.m. would be the last time. They can submit by 11 evening or night.
Mandira ma'am, you are mute.
Okay. So give them the full day till midnight, no problem, because many of them are working people. They may come back from office and sit and do. I don't mind. As long as you complete, I can give you up to midnight, 12 o'clock at midnight. So the idea is for you to complete the course at your own pace with a free mind. You should not have any problem. Any technical problem, you can always take help from a computer savvy person close to your place, close by your friend or whoever it may be. And it is not difficult. It's not rocket science. So you will definitely, I'm very sure, and each and every one of you will do wonderfully well. You will be able to complete it successfully.
Yeah, and that's our target, because it's you who would be the new young line graduates, and that is the first step in leading your district, your society, and most importantly your community into better service through the Lion Stick platform. And one more thing, since you are aware, I believe that all of those who have attended 3 days without missing any session, you would be given the gold certificate once you finish this LLC course. Those who have completed 2 sessions, they deserve the silver certificate. But people absent for 2 sessions and only attending 1 session will not be certified, and that is as per the multiple rules. So we cannot help that. So that is one thing that you have to all keep in mind. And one more thing is that we all need to have a feedback. Actually, in person, there is a feedback form. So I'll post that form in this group. You can download that, make a printout and type those answers, and you can just forward them to us. So that is a thing that is required. We will keep those as our record. So we need we'll have a feedback form. We'll give it to you. Once you send your LLC course completion, along with that, your feedback form is also requested. And at this end, when you have come to the end of the 3 days session, it was a wonderful journey, a great achievement for our district, because you all were there being guided by our district GLD coordinator and the helm of affairs, our district governor, for whose efforts we are all enlivened. And definitely the support we got from the multiple, our Jayanti Mallikdi and Amita Janaji, all of them had spontaneously come forward to be faculty in this training. So that was a great session altogether, I would say. So once again, thank you all. But formally, I would now request Lion Rishabh Lodha, our cabinet secretary, to propose the vote of thanks. Lion Rishabh Lodha.
Yes. So friends, we are at the end of 3 sessions of YLLI. Well, first I would like to thank all our eminent YLLI faculties, PMCC Mandira ma'am from Guwahati, Lion Himabrata Chakravarti from Helakandi, and Lion Bikasji Towani from Bangaigaon. Thank you all our faculties for sparing your valuable time and taking important topics for our YLLI participants in this 3rd and final session of YLLI Institute. In fact, as this is the closing session of YLLI Institute, so I also take privilege to thank all the faculties that joined us even for 1st and 2nd sessions that were held in month of September and October respectively. Thank you all faculties. Next, I would like to thank our GST coordinator, Mandira ma'am, and course coordinator, Himabrata Chakravarti, for organizing this institute that spread over 3 sessions for the young lions of our district. Young lions का मतलब नहीं है कि वो जवान हैं, young lions का ये मतलब है कि हमारी organization में वो नए हैं. So thank you, Mandira ma'am and Himabrata. I would also like to thank our district governor, both our white district governors, other district leaders, club members, and all the participants who were present during all the 3 sessions in order to make this institute fruitful and successful. And before we end, I just want to inform all the participants once again that this YLI Institute over 3 sessions was not just a webinar or seminar. ये आप लोगों को समझना पड़ेगा कि ये जो sessions थे 3, ये सिर्फ कोई webinar और seminar नहीं थे. In fact, it was an institute, and you all have completed a specific course under this organization, and you all are now a proud YLLI graduate. और आप अब कहीं भी कोई भी लाइंस प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाएंगे तो यू कैन प्राउडली से आप सबको बता सकते हैं कि यू आर नाउ अ YLLI graduate. So heartiest congratulations each one of you for being a graduate from YLLI Institute. Now, as we have come to an end of this institute, so once again, thank you each one of you for your active participation. Thank you, goodbye and good night.
I would like to add here that we need to thank profusely our Cabinet Secretary, Lion Rishabh Lodha, for always.
Thank you.
He was under constraints, he was under multiple pressure because he's a Cabinet Secretary. He has to do a lot of work, but he has been there. He has been the person who has been the invisible cracks. So thank you, Rishabh. Thank you so much for doing all the hard work and always being there whenever we had called you on you. Also, I want to thank Lion Arun Agarwalji for extending his support in facilitating the session through his technical help. Thank you once again. Thank you, Mandiraji.